Hey, what's happening, everybody? Super excited to see all of you. Vicky, what's going on? Hey, Matt, nice to see you. I'm sure we'll have the others join in. Cody, what's happening, Melanie? Nice to see you guys. Everybody, make sure there's my man, Brian. Make sure you adjust your names if you can. So if there's two people, Cody, adjust yours. So Melanie's on there too. And if you're not on camera, do me a favor, come on camera. You know, it's interesting that tonight's subject is about unstoppable. It's about unstoppable. And Aaron and I were just having a conversation because we were like, I wonder how many people will show up tonight. It's Wednesday night, and normally I think we do Fridays and we do all kinds of different times to see when people can show up. But I want to ask you a quick question before I dig in. I've got a lot of information to deliver to you guys, a lot. So I want you to buckle your seatbelt in for the next 90 minutes. And I want you to treat the next 90 minutes like you're a brand new student in our world here. And I was thinking about unstoppable, and I want to know from you, level 10, the world, the people in your world, your partners, your neighborhood, your community, they're just running at a level of unstoppable. And one, everybody's underneath a blanket and they're just looking and they're just living in uncertainty and fear. Where do you think we're at as a world? I'm just curious from your perspective. So put in a number 1 to 10. 10, everybody's just moving unstoppable. And 1, I personally feel, and just hit a number in the chat bar, I feel like we're running a 3 or 4 in the world personally. Oh, there you go. 4. Yeah, I think we're running a 3 or 4. We got a 5 in there. But either way, 5's pretty scary. A 5 is pretty scary. And as I go through here, and some of you have been in my world a long time, as I talk about myself a little bit, I want to just tell you the level I had to be at. If that's cool, can you type in cool in the chat bar? I want to tell you the level that I had to be at. So let's dig in. Just so you guys know, I got my whole amazing team here. We got Aaron on with us. We got my son, Michael on. Got my beautiful wife, Jennifer here. They'll be talking to you through the chat bar the whole time. And let's dig into this. So when we thought about doing this, here at Food Dog Group, we're always thinking about what can we solve next? What's the problem happening for people today? What's the problem happening? What I feel is the world has fear and uncertainty. And I also know that if we can turn that into unstoppable power. Now, I want to help you write things tonight. Is that okay? I want you to write to empower yourself and shift your thinking. So why don't you just write down the words unstoppable power and answer this for me in the chat bar. What if every morning you woke up and the first thing you did was took a black magic marker, a pen sometimes is a little scratchy on the skin, and you just wrote on your arm, unstoppable power. Every single morning you did that. Tell me in the chat bar, what would the day be like if you did that? First thing in the morning, you wiped your eyes, you got ready, even before the bathroom, you just wrote unstoppable power. Would you end up living in a state of fear and uncertainty, or would you shift right into unstoppable? Now, here's where I think I feel like a lot of people are today. I think there's a lot of uncertainty. Why? Because this is what we do every single day for the last 2 years. But for me, I've been doing a portion of this for over 3 decades now. I've been helping people break through paradigms and limiting beliefs and programming inside themselves. And I feel today people are frustrated and confused with so many demands. And if you think I'm resonating with you somewhere, at any time, you could just type in boom in the chat bar. And this way I'm talking with you and not at you. And you also feel pulled between maybe business and life. right? A little tug of war going on, or maybe disconnected from the relationship, right? Maybe like one of us wants to grow and expand and live and, let's do this. And the other one's like, hey, I'll just live in the grind, like I just go to work and I complain, I come home, right? Or maybe the health is starting to be sacrificed, or you're struggling to get it all done. In your mind, you have this, I want it now, or you're not achieving your goals. You feel behind. I'll tell you what, if you're behind, you're not unstoppable. You're being stopped. Let me say that again. If you're behind where you want to be, you're not unstoppable. You're being stopped. And maybe you're feeling a little bit of overwhelmed, or you're growing your business, but you're not growing your life, right? Or you're in survival mode. A lot of people are downright in survival mode right now. And the question is, what's the rest of this year going to be like? Like, you already got a temperature of 2023, right? What is it? It's March 1st. We're heading into the last month of the first quarter. Do you really need to take a temperature on anything else? Like, we know what's going to be happening here. And quick little disclaimer. First off, just so you know, I'm not an accountant, I'm not an attorney, I'm not your financial or medical advisor, which means you have to do your own due diligence, okay? We are not guaranteeing any results of any kind. We're just sharing from our perspective. Also, we're not going to take any credit for the massive results that you could have just from after this. Now, if you're new in my world, like, hey, this is kind of like the first or second time I've been here on a training, type in new. But if you've been in my world even for a little bit, couple weeks, and you feel like Food Dog Group has created an impact of any kind inside your life, can you type in impact? Let's see, we got new. Andrew, nice to see you. Diane, nice to see you. Maria, hey, all you new people, welcome to the family. Chelsea, welcome. And all of you that are writing massive impact, that's what we're here for. That's what we're here for. That's the name of the game. This costs you nothing. And all I want nothing more from you than to create transformation. Even if it's just a little one, even a little one. I don't want motivation. You might be motivated. Motivation goes away. Tomorrow morning you wake up, it's all gone. I want transformation. And one of the biggest shifts that I always share is that, you hear everybody talking about this 10X stuff. And every time I say this, I'm not telling you, I'm telling myself. I'm not here teaching you, I'm also teaching me. In order to 10X anything, you have to 20X yourself. And what I found out is, in order to build anything of empire level, I mean, dominate, unstoppable power of achievement, you got to create that bigger life, the bigger life inside of you. And, I also understand where a lot of you probably are by answering those questions. Like, life can get pretty hectic. It can be. And a lot of people think like, oh man, Mike, like you and Jen and like everything's just like, you guys are always like butterflies are falling on your shoulders and unicorns running your backyard and shit, right? That's not true. We get chaos like the best of them. The difference is we've been training 30 years to navigate chaos. And most people are just starting to learn that they can have, and write this down, I can have power over chaos. You can have power over chaos. So I get this. And a lot of people, this is me. But that's not me anymore. Why? Decision, choice, massive action. I promise. First off, don't put me on no fucking pedestal, please. Don't. Every one of you on here listening, or every one of you that do listen to this, you know something, you do something better than I could possibly ever do it. And I'm glad about that. The main distinction here is I made, and I hope tonight could be a new distinction for you. The distinction is I no longer want to be that guy. Do you get what I'm saying? I no longer want to be that guy, and I made a decision to change and shift. I knew I couldn't be this guy. Me and my wife couldn't be this couple. If you said, people go, hey, if you could rewind time, like, wouldn't you like this moment here? No, I love this moment me and my wife have right now. I love the moment we had just a couple days ago, driving to Virginia Beach and North Carolina Beach and going to South Carolina and speaking to people and driving back. No, I don't want that time. I want this time right now. I want this time right now. And, look, now my son is on here. He's 23. My daughter's 20. So they're not these little kids no more. They're adults now. They're figuring it out. But this is what chaos looks like, right? Navigating. If you can relate, type in relate. It's like trying to order something, credit card, baby in hand. We made a lot of mistakes along the way. And I feel, I don't have the one. A friend of mine, Brian Kurtz, gave me a plaque. It's like those that have done it, not are obligated, but those that are done it should teach others how to avoid all the pain and suffering. It's something like that, right? And now we have an amazing family, and we still navigate things today through our family. And I just want to tell you, because someone just asked me again the other day. Yeah, okay, kudos to me. So I built a $32 million company, 200 employees, 165 trucks, double-digit profit, sold that bad boy in 2017. Kudos. I'm not that guy anymore either. I'm not. Why? I changed, I grew, I made a new decision. See, the thing, Matt, that I find in some people is they just don't wait a second and go, that's it. I'm done, new decision. Not I'm done with, I'm done at this type of things that I'm doing. And then I built a company called CEO Warrior. And I worked with, a little under a decade. I worked with thousands of business owners, majority plumbing, HVAC, electrician guys, service guys. And I learned a lot about the human behavior and watching the cycle of generational blue collar mindset, generational programming. You got to do it yourself. You got to work hard. Nobody will ever do it better than you, right? And I didn't sell that. I sold that company, but I sold it because, again, I changed. And when you feel the calling to change, you have a choice. You go to that calling because you know that you have to play a bigger part. But some people are living in a box. There is a box, I believe. The box is your mind. Same box I had like this. It's a box inside your mind. Until you make the decision, that's it. Unstoppable. Now, if you're not where you want to be with this, I'm telling you right now, you have uncertainty and fear, even if it's programmed way in your mind. Is this making sense? Type in a little make sense in the chat bar. And some of you are new. Look, I get it. You're on here, you're new. Why should I listen to this guy? He's all tattooed. But I think here's maybe something to consider. Like, one, I got 3 decades of relationship with my beautiful wife here. Right? I got 3 decades of martial artists. Any other martial artist on here? Type in martial arts. I got 3 decades of building a business. I got a whole decade of doing business the shittiest possible way you can do it. Okay, I got a decade of doing it wrong. A whole decade, a little over a decade of doing it completely wrong. I've also helped people mind blocks over 3 decades. Now I got to change this. I think we're up to 19 books. And we got a great book that we're working on that's coming out. Myself, Aaron, my son, my wife. It's going to be amazing. Aaron, type in the name of that so they know to look out for it. Hey, Michelle, nice to see you. Taekwondo, awesome. All you martial artists, nice to see you. And I've hung out with some really cool people. It's not about the cool people. I listened, I learned, and I implemented. I was fascinated. I'm wondering who entertained me on my post. If you entertained me, just put a little smile face in the chat bar. I posted a picture of myself in front of this, cool Maserati car, I don't know, $300,000 or $350,000 car. And I was like, this just happened. And everybody loved it. Oh my God, congratulations on the car. And I'm not against having a car. those that knew me knew that wasn't my car. Like, that's how I knew who knew me. And then I was sitting there and I was talking, Cody, to my whole team. And I'm like, this is my own story, my own mind. So can you just bear my own personal ego for a minute, please? My own ego. My own ego says, I post the most amazing shit like 3 to 6 times a day that changes people's lives, and I get 1 or 2 comments over it. So if I post anything, like, can you just give me a smile face in the future? But I post a picture in front of a fucking car, and everybody is so amused by it, which it really was a magical moment. If you go back and look at my added to the post, it was a really emotional moment for me, because it's somebody I really care about. It's a guy's car that's been in my world, a little less than a decade. And this guy trusted me when I first started CEO Warrior from the backyard, where I made these people, wear gloves and punch the crap out of each other. And this guy left with broken ribs from the backyard. He never stopped trusting me. And now he's wealthy, and he exited a big company, and he's building another big company. And like, I'm really honored by that. I'm honored. So when I told him, you bring the car, my wife and I went out there, and I was just like filled with so much just pride and joy and love for this guy. But I was humored by the car. Hey, Mr. Gabe Wade, nice to see you, brother. All right, this is exciting. Not that Kevin Harrington said we cracked the code. I've been texting him today. He's really excited to come to the event. I'll talk about the event in a little bit. He's so pumped to come. Such an amazing guy. And Jay Abraham, I'm going to be on with him. If you don't know who he is, highest paid consultant on earth. He's interviewing me for some Japanese thing or something. That's happening, I think, next week. So I'm super excited about that stuff. And for those of you new, we're going to put 2 links in the chat bar. I just want to make sure you get free goodies, okay? One is a free Facebook group. Jump in there, all kinds of value and stuff. And number 2, if you haven't gotten the Mind Power book, or if you want to share the link, you could get a free copy. All right, so just massive value for you guys right out of the gate here. And we do have an event coming up. I'll talk a little bit about it later, but those of you that are new, let me earn my right to share it, okay? If I don't earn the right to share it, you think it's a bunch of shit, then don't listen. But I will teach stuff after it. And if you're already pumped, excited, signed up, and you know that this is going to be a game changer for you, this training, can you type in game changer in the chat bar if you're already signed up to come? I'm going to tell you, it's a game changer. You will never be the same again. I promise that. I promise that. Okay, let's dig in. Boom. It's time to get started here. Time to get started. So number 1 to become unstoppable is we got to create a clear vision of where we want to go. Now, when we say clear vision, I want to share something with you. All personal growth starts with an understanding of where you are right now. You got to get real. You got to get raw. You have to get like, where am I now? And if you were to give a word of where you're at now, are you motivated, excited, frustrated, pissed off, annoyed, exhausted? I have no judgments where you're at, because all those I just mentioned, I've been all of those things many times. But you got to know where you're at. Number 2, you have to have a clear vision of where you want to go. Diane, you got to know where you want to go. When people go, I want to make more money. All right, here's $1. Send me your address. I'll mail you $1. You're done. Don't do anything else. No. You got to have it to the T of the money you want to make. Most people won't even write down the money they want because they don't believe it's impossible. When I created this, it might sound like so simple to you guys, but I never heard the term decamillionaire. I never did. I didn't. And when I heard it, I said to myself, Jessica, I was like, decamillionaire? I was like, what is this? And I looked it up because I didn't know. And I heard that it was a person with 10 million or more in their bank account. And I made a decision in that moment right there. I went, now, if cursing bothers you, you just pray for me tonight, okay? I'm just fine with myself, I promise you. Don't let it affect all of you. You say a couple extra prayers, I'll be fine, you'll be fine. Just change the word into something. But in that moment, I made a decision in my mind. I'm going to be a fucking decamillionaire. And my brain was so convinced it had no choice but to laser sight and get me there. But if you don't believe it, your brain goes, hey, you're confused. You don't even believe it. So let's just forget that ever happened, right? And then what you have to do is you have to fill the gap, everybody, by removing the resistance. So where you're at, where you want to go, and then you got to remove the resistance. Now, I think there's some key things. Now, we have a whole life wheel. I'll share that at the end tonight with you guys because there's a lot of value in it. I believe there's some distinct things that you want to maybe consider. Like when you say health, people go, oh, I want to be healthy. Well, I don't know what healthy is. Is healthy a heart rate? Is healthy a certain level of weight? Is healthy a certain level of energy? What is healthy, right? Or personal wealth, what is it? Is it $500, $500,000, $500 million? Relationship. Is it we love each other? Is it we're passionately attracted to each other? Is it full of vibrant energy and excitement and silliness? Impact. What level of impact? Is it like you want to know when you do? My target for tonight, my goal tonight is that all of you have an impact. That when you leave, I don't care if you take one thing or 100 things. I want at least one shift, one thinking. And then there's legacy. And some of you, you're really not at legacy yet, right? You're not at legacy, but maybe you're starting to think about legacy, starting to think about it. So tell me in the chat bar from strategy 1, what's one action item? And any of you that have been in my world, and those of you that are new, I'm not about delivering just information. I'm about action and massive action. I want to make sure you're leaving with steps to do. Otherwise, after 90 minutes, you had a good time and you don't do nothing with it. Massive action health. Yeah. And what does that look like? What does that look like? What does it feel like? Right? Who else has one? Give me an action item while I get ready to move to strategy number 2. And I got a bunch of strategies for you guys tonight. Personal wealth. Yes. Right? And all of these things start in the mind, right? They all start in the mind. The body follows the mind. The spirit follows the body and the mind. The minute you believe with your heart and soul, everything starts to get aligned. Okay, let's go for number 2. Let's go for number 2. And you guys are amazing. Thank you for playing full out and taking your life to the next level, right? Because in one part of the world, there's someone that's more concerned about watching the rest of the Yellowstone series than changing their life. Now, I did like the series. I felt like a cowboy after the series, but I didn't put it before changing myself and improving myself. Now, understanding uncertainty and fear. You see, your current results come from your actions, thoughts, and feelings, which comes from your beliefs, which comes from your experiences and your lessons. Your uncertainty and fear is created at the deepest levels, okay? So if you look at this here, the experience and lessons that formed your belief. Now, look, I don't know how they could say this exactly, but they say most of your life, your beliefs have been formed by the age of 7. I don't know. Did anybody say at the strike at 12, you're 7 and now you're off? I don't know. I think it could be 7, 10, and I think it gets stacked on throughout your life. And your beliefs, your empowering beliefs and your limiting beliefs. I mean, there was a time as a kid, look at how your beliefs are formed. Ready? You're in school as a kid, and Jessica, the teacher, walks around and goes, walks around to all the little kids and goes, oh my goodness, Melanie, you're an artist. And then goes over, oh, Billy, look at that picture. You're an artist. And then walks by Cody. This ain't true. but walks by Cody and goes, oh, keep coloring in the lines, Cody. Cody's like, F you, right? Now he thinks he's not an artist because the other two got compliment. Oh, you're a little artist. The other one, okay, keep coloring in the lines. You know, the worst thing I think the schools have ever done was make children color inside the lines. Did you ever see a Picasso painting? That dude's never colored inside the lines. He was smoking some for sure, and people pay a lot of money. Starry Light or whatever. You look at it, you're like, that dude was stoned. Clearly, it had to be to draw that thing. It's creepy. It's a little scary. Like he was probably darkest days of his life, but everybody admires it. I think they should tell all the kids, don't ever draw inside the lines again. Color all over the picture. Matter of fact, color on the desk, color on the kid next to you. Now, your thoughts and your feelings, we call this below the surface thing right here. Below the surface, right? Right here. Come on, baby. There we go. Below the surface, your thoughts and feelings. Now, above the surface is your actions. I see people, they want success all the time. And I look at their actions and I go, your actions don't align with what you want. Your actions don't align with your feelings. I want to build something. I want to be a decamillionaire. I want to be real healthy. I wake up in the morning. I go to work. I bitch and complain to the people I see. What? Those actions don't align with the level of success you desire. They don't align with it. Now, if your actions align with your beliefs, right, with your patterns, with your habits, with your new lessons, all of a sudden you start to think different and everything starts to change. And when it starts to change, you go from uncertain. You know, in 2008, it's a great example. In 2008, anybody experienced 2008? Type in 2008 if you experience it. In 2008, they were calling for one of the biggest shit shows ever. And I knew it was coming. I knew it was coming because it was coming fast and furious. Wasn't much of a warning, right? Here, I think the world's given a lot of warning. We've had pandemics, a lot of navigation. 2008 was a little bit of warning, but not a lot. And when that came in, I remember, I don't know how many employees I had at that time, 50, 70, I don't know. You lose count after time, right? But I just remember one thing that I didn't lose count of, standing in front of them and saying one phrase. Ready, Cody? Here's the phrase I told them. They say we're in a recession. They say the sky's going to fall. Well, here's what I say. I'm not willing to participate. Are we clear? There's no participation in what the world's saying. And guess what? Never had a down year. Never had a flat year. The minimum amount we made every year was $1 million. You know why? Because I don't participate in the world's fear and uncertainty. Is that valuable? Type in valuable, because I'm not asking you to do what I say. I'm just asking you to consider if it makes sense. People like, sky's going to fall. I'm like, yeah, MNFer, I have a bucket to catch it. I don't fall for that. You tell me that there's no fish in the sea, I'll build a fish. Okay? But I don't know any other way to live, because when you're on your own at 15, you only have there's probably 3 choices if you're on your own at 15, maybe 4. You could become a criminal. I guess you could become a drug addict. Let's see, criminal, drug addict. I don't know. There's probably a couple other not healthy things, or you could become successful. You could survive. And when you get in a state, that's why I'm probably the wrong person. Like, you're not going to really get a great hug from me. If you're like, oh man, I lost my arm. I'm like, oh, that's so good for you. My arm's gone. I'm like, yeah, you're going to be stronger now, right? You're going to be stronger now. We'll make you stronger, right? Shitty experience. Let's turn it into power. That's how you go uncertainty. Now, if you wake up every day and you're more certain, tell me what life's going to be like. I know what life's going to be like for you. Certainty is going to bring a new sense of confidence, right? And when you have a new sense of confidence, you're going to move forward, and it's going to be amazing for all of you, All right, tell me an action item. What's the action item? I think all of you should get I did draw 2 big pictures on my wall in my one house. The painter said, next time you draw a picture, don't use black magic markers. A big There's this thing called the Fudo Myo. It's like a deity. It's got like a sword and a fang. It's really cool. And then another one's Kuan Yin. Oh, I got Kuan Yin tattooed on me. Kuan Yin's the protector of women and children. And I had it on the wall. I think all of you should pick a wall in your house and like spray paint like certainty on it, unstoppable on it, right? Something that reminds you, like on your door in your bedroom, wherever you walk in your house, your mirror, when you look at it in the morning, like every morning the mirror fogs, right? Certain, right? I'm brave, I'm strong, see it, I'm a decamillionaire, whatever you want to be. All right, put your action items in for strategy number 2. If you're new in the world, just so you know, this is the speed I roll at. So we could get your replay and you could play it on a slower roll if you have to. I'm always have a habit of helping people learn how to move faster, get more done in less time. So I can't slow down. I don't have that pace, especially not tonight because I'm all excited all of you are here, but you can slow it down later if you want. All right, if you're ready, give me a boom in the chat bar. I love all the interaction I see in the chat bar. Give me a big boom. All right, there we go. Chelsea, nice. All right, let's do it. Convert uncertainty and fear into fuel. Okay? Now, your internal fuel converter looks like this. Now, I get it. Daily gratitude sounds like no big thing. But man, it's tough to feel grateful in a shitty day. No? Tell me in the chat, like, no? Like when things are shitty, car broke, house broke, right? Bills came in, and you're like, oh, I'm so grateful for my debt today. I'm so grateful for my punishment and suffering. It's tough some days. But if you could find the gratitude within, right? We call it the upside. Okay. The upside is when you could find the upside to the down, you become free. It's like, and this takes, man, when you get 200 employees, like I had 200, man, when they quit and the wrong one quits, you're just like, holy mackerel. And then you go, all right, well, he's going to have a better life and just opened a door for a more powerful human to step in. And the minute you think that way, a better human steps in. I mean, a more powerful human steps in all the time. How many of you had somebody leave your world and you thought it was the most horrible thing and it just brought somebody so much more amazing into your world? Tell me in the chat bar. It's fascinating to me. So daily gratitude, yes, I am very grateful. Every morning my eyes open up. I will tell you, I'm glad to be alive. I really am. I'm like, holy mackerel, this is good news. I say it like every morning I open up my eyes, I'm like, this is good fucking news right here, right? There was no guarantee, and I just got another day. So this is good. Another day to hug my wife, another day to talk to my son, another day to talk to my daughter, like another day to be silly, another day to serve. So I do find that every morning, and maybe that's a practice. And every night, Diane, before I go to bed every night, I say the same thing. Hey, David, nice to see you. Every night before I go to bed, I say, universe, let me wake up tomorrow. And I promise I'm going to play more full out tomorrow than I did today. Right. So what you see here is not jacked up on Red Bulls and caffeine. I don't do drugs. I don't do alcohol. I don't do Red Bulls. I don't do caffeine. I don't do gluten. I do superhuman. That's what I do. I do superhuman. Now, once you have the gratitude, you have to have belief in yourself. Where the heck did you lose belief in yourself? Tell me in the chat bar, where did you lose it? Was it your mom, your dad, a neighbor, an ex, a friend? I remember someone told me, like, why are you going to, what makes you think you could build a big service company? I was like, my mind made me believe I can do it. Yeah, but there's a lot of employees, a lot of problems. Okay. No employees, a lot of fucking problems. If you can relate, type in relate. Can you relate? Yeah, then you work 1 billion hours, kill yourself every day. I'll take the other side, right? But you got to identify, like, hey, who made me believe not that true? I don't want that truth no more. Once you have a belief in yourself of possibility, Then you could go to clarity of what you want. I see this now after 3 decades. After 3 decades, I would ask people, they're pretty clear what they want. I want $1 million. I want a new car. I want to be debt free. I want to live a place in the world. I want to travel. And I go, great. Do you believe it's possible? Oh, well, they go like this. Well, anything's possible. I said, I didn't ask that. I didn't ask if anything's possible. I asked what you just told me. Is it possible for you? And there's a pause. And then I know they cannot move forward. They cannot. Vicky, they can't move forward because their belief is jacked up. I said, look, if we get you to believe in yourself, to believe in what's next, you will move forward. But the minute your belief is nothing but suffering and punishment and pain and why me and why now, doesn't matter how much clarity you have in your future, you will be roadblocked. Now, if we get the clarity with the belief, now we get a strong why, a really strong why. What's a strong why? A strong why, like I've had a bunch of strong whys in my life. My first, strong why was to survive, right? Because when you're on your own at 15, you eat a lot of oodles and noodles and you learn to survive because there's no you don't feel there's Superman's not going to come and save your day. I think that's the problem. And I don't mean to, shit on the government and stuff, but they keep saving the day for too many people. I say, don't save them. Send them to come and work for me. That's what I say. Come work for me. So you can grow and learn, right? But that's my own belief. You shouldn't adopt my crazy beliefs. But the first why is that. The second why is I'm a beautiful wife. And I wanted to build a life that we could have what we call a vacation life. So we don't ever have to vacation. We live a life that's a vacation. Now, does that mean we sit and eat bonbons all day? I don't even know if I've ever eaten a bonbon. What the fuck is a bonbon? I don't even know what the hell it is, but I hear it all the time. It's like, do we sit and just feed each other grapes all day? No, I'm here with you. It's 7:39 at night. It doesn't mean we don't do things. It means that we love what we do, that it's a vacation life. I just said it on stage. I just talked in South Carolina, and I said to them, did you ever read this book, The 4-Hour Workweek? And everybody they all love it. Woo-hoo, they're whistling and shit. This is the stupidest book in the world. If you're only doing something for 4 hours because you hate it that much, you should stop. You should kill it and get rid of it. So what is your why? And it's not your family. Your why is not your family. It's what you want for your family. People go, oh, my why is my wife. No, it's not. It's you don't want your wife and children to suffer. You don't want them to suffer. You don't want a day where, and I'm guessing at this, my story is you don't want a day they need an operation and you can't afford it. Right? That was one of my whys for my children. I want to, look, what if one of them needs a heart transplant? I'm not the guy that wants to go beg some system. I don't want to do that. I want to be able to go, I got the heart transplant money right now. That's what I want to be able to do, right? Once we have the why, now we could put leverage and reward. Leverage is what a lot of you need, but the brain works off leverage and reward. Reward is you get here, you get that. When you get here, you get that, right? Like right now, my wife and I were selling a house, pretty excited. We bought the house $650. We put 125 in it. We thought we were going to use the house for stuff. It became too small really fast. It's right over here. Put it up for sale, 24 hours, asking price, $995. Pretty good deal, right? Now, what's the reward? Well, inside our mind is, hey, we're gonna do something else with this money, right? The brain says, oh man, there's a win here. The leverage is that you saying, if I don't get this done, it's like, let me talk to the ladies a minute. Like, how many of you ladies, if you shaved your head bald tonight, it freaked you the hell out a little bit? Just type in freak out. You would just freak out. You'd be like, freak out. Some of you are like, I do it all the time. I'll shave it and tattoo that thing. No, some of you freak out. So I had a woman and she says, I'm going to do this. I'm going to get this done. I said, okay, well, let's put leverage on it. right? I'm like, Melanie, let's put leverage. She goes, well, I don't know. I said, okay, well, how about, are you scared of clowns? She says, no, because sometimes the leverage is, if there anybody afraid of clowns, type in clowns. Like leverage is, if you don't get that done, I'm going to make you sleep while 5 clowns stare at you, right? Pretty scary for some people, right? Even though you ever watch, Cody, did you ever watch the video with like guy gets at a gas station and 5 clowns chase him? I'm like, I watched that and I'm like, tell my wife, do you ever see 5 dead clowns? I said, that doesn't make any sense to me. These people running from these clowns. But she said she'll shave her head. I said, okay, but don't bullcrap me, because if you don't get it done, we shave it bald. Now, if you knew that if you didn't get your next task done, your head was going to be shaved, ladies, tell me what's going to happen. You're going to get it done, right? You're going to get it done. And then that turns into massive action. When you take massive action, then we go what I call prove the world wrong. I believe all of you want to prove the world wrong somehow. Now, who's the world? Well, it might be your mom, it might be your dad, it might be your sister-in-law, it might be your siblings, it might be your husband or wife, it might be somebody you want to prove wrong. And you're like, I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you. I love that pressure, just so you know. I love when I built, when I was building Gold Medal, they told me there's already too many big companies. Don't be silly. And I was like, oh man, I'm going to prove you wrong. I proved them wrong. Then I started CEO Warrior, and they made fun of me because I called myself the business ninja. Go back and watch my oldest YouTube videos where I'm like holding a watermelon, calling myself the business ninja. They all made fun of me. Then I proved the world wrong again. I created in the last 24, 28 months, people that I've worked with on one way or another, created over 40, I think, Deca millionaires now. I don't know anybody else that's created that many. Even when we built Food Dog, people say, what the hell's a food dog? Prove the world wrong. All right, tell me in here, one of the 7, and then I'm going to talk about the middle. Which one of the 7 do you have to do? Tell me in the chat bar, like which one of them do you have to improve? Is it all 7? Is it 1? Is I got to be grateful? I need some leverage. I was telling someone the other day, if you don't get your stuff together, fly down here. Me and you are going to go in the freezing ocean. I'm going to get your ass to get things together real quick. It's going to be cold, painful, but you're going to change. Not because I don't care, not because I want to hurt someone, because I love them more than sometimes they love themselves, right? Okay, 6 and 7, believe in myself. Jeff, you got this, man. Believe in myself. You see the belief? I'll tell you, because someone punched you in the teeth. They said things that weren't true, okay? So whoever did that, just send them a text message. Wait till the middle of the night, okay? Wait till like 3 in the morning and text them and be like, what you told me was not true. And then put your phone on silence, okay? Put your phone on silence and let them just think about it. Now, the middle is who? Who can help you in these 7 areas? Who can hold you accountable? Who can help you? I hope I'm part of your who in your life. You're here. I hope I'm part of your who tonight. I hope I'm your who to help you believe a little more. Who's starting to just believe a little bit more in themselves? Type in a little more. Just a little bit more, right? Okay, good. Let's go to number 4. We still got a lot to do here, everybody. All right, number 4. Get comfortable with the uncomfortable. Comfortable with the uncomfortable. Fact number 1. Unstoppable people are always growing. They never stop. The minute I had a friend of mine said, I'm not going to learn nothing else. I've got everything I need. Okay. I said, I'm not stopping learning, because the interesting thing that maybe nobody told you about learning is when you learn, it stacks above the next learning. It stacks above. It keeps connecting new dots. That person is still pretty much where they are in life. And my life has really expanded and grown with my wife. Now, fact number 2, growth occurs in discomfort, not comfort. I mean, you get it, right? Muscle is built by ripping muscle. I mean, you get strong because you're tearing the muscle. Therefore, unstoppable people embrace the discomfort. They don't just say, poke me in the eye, but they don't cry when they get poked in the eye. They say, okay, how am I going to grow from this? Let me share something that changed my life forever, Diane. So this one phrase, Vicky, changed my life forever. Guy said, let me just share a reality with you so I could save you 3 decades of pain and suffering. He said, every problem you solve is going to create a new problem. I said, I don't understand. What do you mean? Isn't there a day there will be no problems? He goes, well, let's look at it. He goes, you get a bigger house. What's the problem? Well, now you got to clean more things, right? You get a bigger company. What's the problem? Now you got to manage more people. You get more money. What's the problem? You got to manage the money. And then that money makes money. And then what's the next problem? You got to manage people to manage the money. He goes, the minute you know that every time you solve a problem, it creates a problem, you no longer see the word problem as anything else but, boom, opportunity. Opportunity. You're like, this isn't a problem. This is an opportunity. So I told my employees back then, I said, hey, I told everybody, don't ever come to me and say we have a problem. Come to me and say, we have an opportunity. And I'm like, well, what is it? Okay, well, we crashed a truck again. I'm like, oh, wonderful. This is just a wonderful day. What's our opportunity? Well, here's the thing. I think we need to make sure every person that ever joins our company goes through some kind of driver training. Boom, there's the opportunity. There's the opportunity. So I made every employee back then. Today, it's $28 or $30 online. They do 6 hours of training, two points off their license and learn. I was like, yeah, we got to solve this. Because when you have 165 trucks, the insurance company doesn't want to know you just crashed 30 of them. They don't want to insure you. All right, so let's look at this. How do you want to grow? Well, let's look at example number 1. I want to release 10 pounds. Okay. How are you comfortable right now? Well, I love a donut in the afternoon and a nice heavy meal for dinner. All right, how do you get uncomfortable to create growth? Well, maybe trade my unhealthier options for healthy options and redefine what I consider enjoyable. Now, do I have any Italians on here? Type in Italian. Italians, well, since I'm Italian, I will tell you, emotion and food are directly linked together. If you think that's true, type in true. It's directly linked. Like my grandmother, you showed her love by eating and then eating again, eating till you couldn't even breathe. So, you were trained in your DNA, in your life, in your mind that it's comfortable to be this way. Well, I'll tell you, once you create a new comfort, it becomes comfortable to be that way, right? When I stopped caffeine, which I never did coffee, I did like caffeine teas. When I stopped that probably 18 years ago, it was very uncomfortable the first day. It was torturous. Anybody ever have a caffeine withdrawal? Type in withdrawal. I'm sure it's like a lot of it. It's brutal. I felt like I was going to stab my brain. But then I made a decision never again. And I haven't done caffeine in 18 years. What I didn't know what would happen is from the uncomfortable became superhuman energy. I mean, I have more energy than most humans on the planet. And I swear it's from getting rid of that. You think it's giving you, I hear people say it all the time. If it's one of you, say, yeah, that's me. Like, they're like, oh, I can't even start my day without caffeine. I'm like, you need me in your house in the morning. Like, and I'm like, you want the coffee? All right, you got to get past me. I'm bringing my son with me though, because he's way tougher than me and way scarier, but we'll keep you from caffeine. All right, number 2, I want to have a deeper relationship with my spouse. Well, how are you comfortable right now? We see each other in the evening after work and we watch TV. It's like, hey, babe, love you. How was your day? They suck, right? Well, what could we do? We invest in ourselves and learn together and grow, which we have a lot of couples here, a lot of couples in our different programs, because it's the one thing that was missing, Vicky, in my wife and I's life is I was going to business trainings and stuff, but we never had a place to go where we could grow together. And if you're not growing together, I don't care what anybody says. You're growing apart. I don't care what anybody tells me. I've been doing this 3 decades. Oh, my wife, she's not into that thing. 2 years later, how's your marriage doing? Not good. She's with someone else. Oh, okay. I thought she wasn't into that thing. So she was just into someone else, right? Like, come on now. It's human behavior is we know that if one side grows, the other has to grow. Do they have to grow at the same pace? No. Do they have to grow at the same thing? No. Do they both have to be growing? Yes. It's human for us to expand and grow. If we didn't grow, you'd all be wearing diapers and you'd be out there making fire to cook with instead of your fancy stoves and stuff. Last one, I want to create more wealth. Okay, I'm spending my current income and I'm not investing. Well, guess what? I can invest in my learning and surround myself with people who can help me. Anybody that's in the Food Dog world in one of our programs or something, do me a favor, Justin, all of you that are in one of our programs, type in the chat bar and tell me what it feels like when you're surrounded around people that are also unicorns like you. Just type something in the chat bar while I flip to the next one. What's it feel like to be around like-minded people that aren't judging you, that are like, just like, let's do it, right? Man, I'm here for you. This is Lanita, just nice thing she said, transforming her home. She's from Australia. All right. Can you handle more? Type in more. Powerful. Literally make a fire to cook. Amazing. More. Okay. We got more. Let's do it. Let's do it. I got a lot of energy for you guys tonight. Relentless toward your outcome. Relentless toward your outcome. Now, many people stop too early. They escape the hard work by wasting their evening on television. Or they go on vacations. Man, I got to tell you, my pet peeve. My pet peeve is, it just drives me nuts. Hey, Mike, I need to get on a call with you. I'm having a hard time thinking through things. All right, cool, man. Let's get on the phone. Oh, I could do it next week. I'm away on vacation. I'm like, listen, if your life is not dialed in and improved, you shouldn't fucking go on vacation. You see how wild you got me now? Don't go on vacation. Fix your life. Fix your life, because I know what happens. You go on vacation. It's temporary gratification. You're like, oh, we had such a good time. We sipped wine. We walked in, we went here. And I'm like, you get home and they're like, I need a vacation from my vacation. I am like, you're killing me, everybody. You're killing me here. Let's fix your life and then live a life that's a vacation life where you just love it so much. It's not a sacrifice, right? It's a direction. But guess what? Most successful people are still pushing. They choose to have more energy even when no one else does. Now, most people stop right here. Boom, right? They're like, I'm done. I had enough. I'm fatigued. I'm burned out. I'm like, no, you're weak. You're not making changes. You got to make changes, because high performers choose to keep going. They find the energy. They don't live in a state of fatigue. They just ignite themselves like that. I think people have been trained that you only have so much energy. But if you look at the scientific behind it, they say you have as much energy as a star in the sky. That when I look up there at a star, I'm like, that sucker looks like a lot of energy. When you no longer see yourself different than the star in the sky, that you're also abundance. Tell me what would happen for all of you in the chat bar. If you started everyday living, your belief system is you're an abundance of energy. What happens? Tell me in the chat bar. How do you live? Now, the world is going to, okay, Vicky, the world's going to dislike this. They're going to tell you, relax, slow down. You go too long. You're up too late. Blah, blah, blah. You need 50 hours of sleep a day. It's like, what? No, you need that, not me, right? The world loves it's like a unicorn, right? I always read this, right? Always be yourself, unless you could be a unicorn. Then always be a unicorn. But people don't want unicorns. They're used to like sloths and stuff, right? They're used to relax, move slow, chill, right? All right. So where are you committed to going? Are you committed to being a high performer? Tell me in the chat bar. Because I watch people. Who watches football? Do you guys watch football? You know, people watch football and they go like this. Oh my God, my team. I'm like, your team. What did you do? You just sat there, drank, ate Doritos, 42 wings, 16 dogs, hot dogs in a blanket, your team, you didn't even do nothing. No. Your team's a high performer. You're not. You're a high performer at clicking the remote. Now, I'm not against watching TV. I watch Yellowstone. Sometimes I watch the series now. I watch it for training. Sometimes I watch Walking Dead just for training, so I'm prepared for the world. I don't know if you should watch that before you go to sleep. I like watching some of that stuff too, but I don't let it get in the way of my human performance. Did any of you listen to my AI talk? AI, type in AI. And if you didn't, type in question mark. Okay, we're not talking about AI. And I want to keep stressing this to everybody. Diane, we'll make sure we get you a link to the talk, where to get it. It's probably in, or we'll dump it in the free Facebook group. It's not about AI. It's about HI. It's not about artificial intelligence. It's about human intelligence. Human intelligence. Human intelligence will create anything you desire. It will build anything. It will make people go, how, when? I remember that. It's such a, oh, I put the link in. Michelle, it's such a great moment when someone says, I woke up one day and your company was here, your world was here, your life was here. They didn't see everything it took to get there, but they're like, wow. And you get that moment of like pride and you go, wow, yeah. In order to go, right? Write this phrase down. Every time I hear it, I write it down too. So I want you to write it. What got you to where you're at will not get you to where you want to go. Write it every time. What got me to where I'm at will not get me to where I want to go. Period. Right? You want a vacation style life? What got you to where you're at? It's not going to get you to a vacation style life. We have to reactivate parts of ourselves, right? We need to human scalability parts of ourselves. We need personal growth. All right. Give me an action item for number 5, everybody. Don't fade on me. I want your energy. Keep that energy up. Keep that energy up. All right. Give me an action item 5, and then I'll go to number 6 here. Number 6 is one of my favorite. And if any of you, I don't know if any of you use this. This is the hydration electrolyte, LMNT. Anybody use that stuff? LMNT for hydration? If not, check it out. Keep your body hydrated. So your mind. LMNT. My wife could tell you what, if you ever have questions, ask her about. All right. Number 6, everyone. Number 6. Strategy. Live in a new identity. It's an identity issue. Our identity is the sum of our values, beliefs, and experience in a moment in time. Our identities can shift. So do you have an identity of someone who is busy and overwhelmed? It's interesting. Someone said to me, they did a post the other day. My responses are never what anybody wants. They're like, hey, if you're ADHD, what are the things you do to focus? And my response was, change your identity. Change your identity. I'm not saying you don't have AD, DD, triple B, whatever the hell. I'm just saying you chose an identity. You can live with that identity dictated upon you, or you could change your identity, right? Or do you have an identity of someone who is a master of time and focus and can easily achieve more? Here's the four quick steps, right? Where you're at, evaluate it. Be willing to shift and change and remove past guilt, shame, and trauma. If you have 1 or 3 of those, what do? Type in the chat bar, guilt, shame, or trauma. Who has some of those? Or all 3? All of them? Okay. The more we get rid of those, man, I feel guilty. I thought I'd be further. Oh, I'm ashamed. I thought I made a bad decision. Oh man, I got divorced. I feel broken. I made this. I got trauma from it. I'm traumatized, right? You don't have to live with guilt, shames, and traumas. They live inside your brain. They are not sewn in by steel. It might feel that way. They're removable. They're modifiable. They're shiftable. Now, when we build our new identity, we then live in your new identity and be consistent in the new identity. And your new identity serves you. And when it doesn't serve you, we change our identity. When your identity becomes someone who's like, hey, I attract, well, I'll share this one because I think it applies. My identity was all amazing people will eventually be in my world. All amazing people. When I owned the service company, I said all amazing service experts. I said all amazing service experts will eventually work for me. I used to interview people and sometimes they wouldn't come aboard. I said, it's okay. Eventually you will. All great people come and work for me eventually. And that was my belief system. I mean, what's the opposite belief system? No one will ever like me. No one will love me. No one will ever work with me. No, like that doesn't make any sense. This identity, when you switch this identity by design, everything in your life changes. How many of you heard my story of the small business owner? If you did, type in yes. If not, put a question mark and I'll share it real quick. Let me take some of my hydration. Okay. I'd like to know that I'm giving you things to save you decades through the story because it shifted my life. So this guy I meet, I never met him before. Ready, Melanie? Never met him before. And he goes, what do you do? And Vicky, I go like this. I own a small electrical, and he goes, and I'm like, holy shit, this guy's having a convulsion. Like, I didn't know, is he going into a convulsion? Do I have to knock this guy out? What the hell's going on here? He goes, no. You own a progressively growing electrical contracting business. And I went, yes, I do. That's exactly what I do. My shoulders went back. My identity changed in that moment. He said, never use the word small. Small words make you stay small. And I was like, holy shit, man, who are you? Shook his hand. I was like, he changed my life. I got chills. In 1 minute, he changed my life forever. And then now when people ask me, I say, oh, I'm progressively growing. Very different than small now, isn't it? If that makes sense, type in makes sense. I couldn't believe it. How like it changed my identity, like broke right through me. All right. Let me share this with some of you guys. Some of you already heard this, so just bear with me while I go for it. Some new people. Here's a question for you guys. What if you could create a powerful new identity that would serve you, right, to the next level and discover how to step into it? And your new identity, unleash yourself to achieve more freedom and a greater legacy than ever before. Who wants legacy and a greater freedom than ever before? Give me a boom in the chat bar. Give me a boom in the chat bar. Okay, let me share what we got going on. Some of you are already coming. Those of you that are new, give me a couple minutes to see if this makes sense for you guys here. We got an event coming up a couple weeks from now. Change the channel, March 18th and 19th. If you're coming, you should start training your energy because what you see now, my energy is going to go through the roof by the time I get there. Like some of you may not even be ready for that, but get ready. Okay. Here's the deal. The whole thing is you'll get inspired by experts to definitely achieve more success, overcome your old programming. Type in old if you guys have some old programming. We're going to shift right through that stuff. We're going to change the channel in your life. We'll create a new powerful identity and we'll go through a step-by-step transformational blueprint. I'm super excited. This is the room we will be in right here. It's a 2 million square foot building. And then this room is in the building. I am super pumped about this. Here's the 6 steps we'll go through. Step by step, we will remove and then rebuild this new identity. You'll have the magnifying glass method here. And this is where we'll pull back the curtain, okay, of your hidden stories. Don't let that scare you. We got you covered. You're going to be around the most amazing people. We have the resistance eliminator system. We will get rid of resistance that's sitting inside your mind, inside your body, what's been holding you back. Everything I learned, just so you know, this process right here, I looked back over 3 decades and said, what are the shifts that took me from struggling for a decade to building a $32 million business, selling it, building the top training and implementation organization on the planet, selling it in 2020, right? Like what made me debt-free since 28? And I'm level 52 right now. My wife and I have been debt-free since we're 28. What created that? and I took all the best things that I figured out that can shift you within 2 days and built it into this training. It is going to be incredible. We got the vision creation process, identity makeover, transformation blueprint, and then we will ignite this into fuel for all you guys. Those of you that are coming, give me a really long boom in the chat bar because you're that excited about it. We have amazing speakers coming out. Just so you know, we got Kevin Harrington, original shark of Shark Tank. Mike Michalowicz, super awesome, wrote Profit First, Pumpkin Plan, Toilet Paper Entrepreneur. We got Mark Evans, amazing guy. Kevin Axtell is going to be our MC. We got you covered. My beautiful wife will be talking. You got my son will be talking. Aaron be talking. We got the most killer lineup in 2 days that you could imagine. And then hopefully you'll be okay if I do a little bit of talking with everybody too. We're going to go for it. We have, just so you guys know, for those of you that are not signed up, we got 3 diamond spots left. A bunch of people got diamond. I don't want to go through all the details. If you're a diamond buyer, you're a diamond buyer. You get the Mind Power training. That was a $10,000 training. Okay. If you didn't do Mind Power training, it was 2 nights a week for 3 weeks. Who on here did Mind Power? Tell me what Mind Power was like, Mike. Tell them what Mind Power is like. One Life training, you get that. Plus you get lunches and dinners, and you get to bring someone else with you. So we still have it discounted. If you're a diamond buyer, boom, come in and play diamond. My wife and I are always like, we only do things if we could do it there, but not everybody's that way. A lot of people took VIP. We got 8 spots left. I would imagine we'll sell out. You'll get the 2 days. You get the One Life training. You don't get the Mind Power training. One Life is a really, really great training. You'll get VIP registration line, closer seating. You'll get some food. It'll be awesome. You get to bring someone else with you. Don't be shy. Drag someone with you. Once they're there today, they'll thank you forever for bringing them. One of the things my wife and I have done for decades is we sent people to trainings. We paid for them to go to trainings. We're like, I need you just to go to this training. So there's someone in the world, send them our way. We'd love to change their life. And then if you're just in a place where, hey, I'm just a general admission guy, just want to get my ass in the room, Mike, give me a seat. I don't care where I sit. I just want to be in that level of vibration. Boom. $432. I will tell you, there won't be no more trainings in my life I do at $432. It won't. Our average training was $6,500. And we did this just to do our part in changing the world. But man, guys like Kevin Harrington and food and rooms like that, it's a little under 100 grand for this event. It's a lot. It's a lot of money to run it. So let's just say if you're going to take advantage of one of our trainings at this, do it now, because I don't plan on doing another one. I'm just being transparent with you guys because it's got to make sense. We have a whole team, 15 people in the organization. All right, there's the things. If anybody needs a ticket or interested, the link is right in the chat bar. If you need help, just type in help. We'll get you signed up. If you have questions, hit us with questions. Boom. We'll get you dialed in. Here's my man, Jason Kirby. Says he's a whole different person now, but you don't even have to listen to him. He's amazing. I got amazing people on here right now. I got Mike on here, Justin. I got a whole bunch of people in our world. So feel free to ask them. All right. Can you handle another one? Tell me if you can handle. I'm not done yet. All right. And I hope you guys that are not signed up, I hope you'll consider 2 days hanging out with us. It will change your life. And it's very important for us because I just getting exhausted watching people complaining about their life, but not willing to do anything to get there. Plus, if you need financing or something like that, just hit us up. We'll do whatever I can. Can I buy a Food Dog t-shirt? I'll tell you what we will do, Vicky. Type in your size to my wife, Jennifer. Okay. Hit up my wife, Jennifer, and say, I need a shirt to show up there in a shirt. We got you covered. We're going to do that for you. Okay. We're not doing it for everybody. We do it for people that ask and they're ready to take action. Okay. You know what? I missed this one. All right. Let's do this. Strategy number 7. I love this. Ultra committed. Ultra committed. Simple model. You have to decide on the action you'll take. You have to decide on the action you'll take. You have to act on the decision with power. With power. You know, this is interesting. I hope my cousin's not on here, but my cousin, I'm super thankful because I went to the chiropractor the other day. I like to get adjusted. And my cousin was there and she says she's going to let me go first because I didn't have an appointment, you know. But I know the guy a long time, like, hey, can I sneak in? And my cousin said that. And I was talking to my cousin about her daughters. And she goes, I said, oh, what are they doing? They're going to go to college. I was like, okay, that's good. I get it. She's like, yeah, if you want to be successful today, you got to go to college. And I was like, well, okay, possible. I didn't go to college. And if you did, I'm glad you did. And if you didn't, I just got to tell you guys, I could get people to a level of success so much faster than anything anybody could ever attend in their life. Any university, any training, I don't care. You know, someone attended a training I used to do when I did business training, and they said, in 3 days, you gave me more than my whole master's degree training in business, right? Because there's shortcuts to it. Do you need to know everything? No, you need to know what changes, the changes you need today. And you have to act with a decision of power. I mean, okay, you got to resolve to turn challenges into opportunities. We talked about that. Then you got to repeat, decide on the action you'll take. How many of you are living in a little bit of state of overwhelmment where you got so many things? Just be transparent. You got like so much going on. You get a state of paralysis, right? Because you have fight, flight, and freeze. Fight is when you get angry and you say you're fighting the world. Flight is you're like, F this. This is what a lot of guys do. When the relationship gets tough, they're just good at, they just flight away. That's their weakness mechanism. They're like, I'm just fucking out of here, right? They haven't been trained how to embrace the storm. I mean, it took me a lot of training over the years. You know, when my wife has a storm coming, like, I miss the cues sometimes, Jessica. Don't make me too brilliant. But I do hold strong a lot in that storm, right? I don't flight. But then there's freeze. Today, the world has a lot of freeze. They have freeze. They're just stuck, like waiting for what to happen. What are you waiting to happen? You know, my wife and I, when we're in a state where we feel frozen, we're like, wait a minute, we got to figure this out fast. We're just stuck. We're just sitting in a void. We got to walk forward, walk back, but we got to walk somewhere. We got to walk somewhere, right? Tell me what your takeaway is from this simple get ultra committed model. How many of you need to just commit so much more? Type in committed. Like, you just know you got to commit. When I used to teach business stuff, and I don't teach business no more, because what I figured out was you could give people all the business training in the world, but if their mind is fucked, they can't do nothing with it, right? I figured it out. You got to fix the people and fix the mind, and then business is easy. Write this down. It's 80% psychology. It's only 20% skill sets. When I look at it, it's 80% psychology. It's only 20% skill sets. But it's been flipped. Everybody's been focusing on the skill sets, thinking that if they have marketing, sales, operation, and systems, that's going to make them wealthy. No. The 80% makes them wealthy. The 20% just helps sharpen the axe a little bit. That's it. Okay, let's go. I think I got one more incredible one for you guys. Oh, yeah. I think this. Oh, I got two more. Okay, lucky you guys. Lucky you. All right, bonus number 8. Never stop learning. All right, here we go. So elevate your life and achieve faster growth by focusing on mind growth. Mind growth. You probably heard me say it many times. Your mind is your superpower. Your mind is your superpower. It really is. Now, you can grow beyond where you are today by being curious and constantly learning. This is you yesterday. This is you today. This is you 2023. I realize I make it sound easy. I get it's not easy, because where do you go to learn, right? Where do you go to learn? It's hard, because I think a lot of people are teaching, and there's a lot of people teaching that have not, I see it all the time. Like, there's people teaching relationships that are from broken and dysfunctional relationships. I don't know if that's the best. They're like, well, don't do this. I'm like, okay, well, that seemed to make sense. It destroyed yours, right? And then I see people just teaching men how to do things. And I think some men groups are great if it's just men. But ladies, tell me, if men are just getting together with only men, Do you think it's like balanced or a little lopsided? Ladies, tell me in the chat bar. If men are just hanging around men, do you think it's lopsided, or do you think they're getting what they need to understand a relationship? Yeah, it's lopsided. All right, men, if all women are just getting together, nothing but women, is it a little lopsided, or you think they're getting what they need? Tell me, men. It's fucking lopsided. It's lopsided. How can you understand it? You know, and I only know this because I'll share a story with you guys when, because I love sharing my own craziness. Do you appreciate my craziness? Type in craziness. Oh, okay, you do. Vicky does. She's like, yeah, I love your craziness. When I was starting CEO Warrior, an organization to train people, I told my wife, and I had my first VA, virtual assistant, and I had a coach. And you would think that's what it made sense, Mike, but it didn't until after I said it. So I was on a call with the three of them, and I said to them, I'm only going to work with men. And Melanie, you would have thought like I had demons come out my mouth. They looked at me, they were like, what do you mean you're only going to work with men? And I was like, well, yeah, I just want to like, it was going to be easy, right? I could just yell at them and push them around, whatever. They're like, no, you can't do that. It's going to be out of balance. It's going to be out of whack. Men need to hear from women. Women need to hear from men. And I was like, oh man, okay. All right. That's what we're going to do. And that's what my world turned out. And then I figured it out now that watching all these different groups, you know, in our group, we're actually Thursday night, we're going to do a session where men and women are going to go in separate brackets, but just in brackets so we can learn and then come back and share the learning so that we can be aligned, because there is very, very different things that they need, they want, they think, they have different experiences, different. How many of you have a mother-in-law that's just a little bit different? Type in different. Do you have a father-in-law that's just a little bit different? Your partner or whatever, are they from a little different world? Like, so you can't separate those things. So when we talk here about never stop learning, we're talking about how do we learn together, right? How do we learn how this all pieces together? All right, tell me something from number 8 that you need to do. Is it you need to invest more in your own growth? You need to invest more in understanding, invest more in the relationship. What is it for you? And then we're going to go for boom. Oh yeah, here we go. Number 9, you talk to me, invest more in own growth. Yep. And understanding, invest more in me. Great job, Diana. Invest more in growth. Yes. Yeah. More in me. Yeah. Like, don't you think now that based on what you just heard tonight, go back to your school days. Go back to when you were in school, all of you. Didn't they teach you how to think? Didn't they teach you how to have a successful relationship? Didn't they teach you how to, create a life by design? No. They taught you algebra. I don't use algebra for nothing. Calculus. Well, I never used calculus. Writing script. I can't even write in script anymore. I sucked at it in school. The last probably 1,500 books I read, none of them were in script. Isn't that just mean? Like, I think they should rewind school. I think they should put Food Dog in the school system so we could teach kids young how to think, right? How to think about a life by design. But I guess we wouldn't be able to control all those kids. So I don't know if that will happen anytime soon, Matt, because we got to make the world a little controllable, right? All right, create exponential results. Here we go. Let's keep our energy up. Unstoppable people create exponential results by taking actions that have more than one positive outcome. For example, learning with your spouse partner or working out with your kids. Now, this is what we call the stoplight wheel system here. So if you look at this, right here, we want to see where are we at on our health. Now, a lot of people that have life wheels, they have the 10 on the outside and the 1 on the inside, but we know something. Write it down. Nothing changes on the outside till it changes on the inside. Nothing changes on our outside world till it changes on our inside world, right? So when we look at this, you could go and start to say, well, where is my health and fitness? Where is my connection with family and friends? How many of you know that there's somebody in your life that you've been allowing to hold you back a little bit? Type in hold back. How many of some people holding you back? But I bet you also have some people that are like, go more, do more. Well, you got one life to decide how you're going to move forward with this, right? Now, partner in love, where are you at on that? You know, if you're partner in love, your relationship, if you're in the yellow, man, you're teetering where you better improve it or you could end up killing it, right? Growth and learning, we just talked about. There's more in here. There's wealth and fitness, finance, right? But what we want to do is get this wheel, we want to get it as balanced as we can, but as every one we improve, we start pulling them all out. We start pulling them all out, okay? How important is this? Tell me in the chat bar, like this here, this wheel with the pieces and understanding it, how important is it? Tell me in the chat bar. And we're going to be finishing up in a minute, just so you guys know. Critical. Yeah, it's critical to know. Like you should look at it every day. Like, where am I today? Where am I today? A lot of people put in focus. It's like, you know, a broke person, right? Spending all their time on their, let's see here, fun and recreation. And they don't know why they're broke. Spending all their time, you know, fishing, hunting, but they're broke. Well, we got to focus where the wheel is going flat, right? Where's the spoke falling off there, right? Okay. My man, Dwayne, I didn't see him. You've seen him probably in the little video, but by being able to think different, he's been able to make a strategic decision, create $1 million, but I was proud of that, but not as proud as this. So my man here, his age, his level is technically 57.4. Okay. You got this? His level is technically 57.4, Jessica, but his inner age, 51.5 based on blood testing. He's beating the clock by what? Almost 6 years. And he's going to go down. And that's pretty incredible, right? And it takes effort to do that. I'm beating it by a decade right now. I'm beating it by pretty close to a decade. That's what we call longevity. Now, remember, let's write it again. The body follows the mind. The body follows the mind. The mind is sick, the body's sick. If the mind is confused, the body's confused. I finally figured this out through studying so many things. And I used to think like, well, maybe NLP would fix it. I thought NLP was the secret sauce, and I found out like you do NLP, it's like a mind training thing. And then I find out 2 years later, people are still messed up again. And I started saying, man, it's an energetic thing. You know, when people say, well, I don't know, did you guys ever have doctors tell someone you know or yourself, like, we just don't know why that's happening? Tell me in the chat bar. That ever have like, oh, we're not really sure what caused that. I'm like, well, that's really reassuring. We're on Mars, but you don't understand that. Every single time I found out, it's an energetic problem. Every time. Body follows the mind. So then I couldn't figure out, let me share this with you real quick. I couldn't figure out, some people, they would release weight. You never want to lose weight because whatever you lose, the mind wants to find, right? Did you ever lose 10 pounds and get 20 back? That's because your mind, the word lose says, bring it back to me. Release gets rid of it. So the cycle of someone releasing weight, gain it back, releasing weight, gain it back. And I couldn't figure it out. And I finally figured it out. You know what? They had shame, guilt, and traumas, and the human body was trying to put on weight to keep them grounded. Now, does that make logical sense? The mind's like, you're ungrounded. You have trauma, you have guilt, you have shame, you're all over the place. Let me ground you. So the body says, build weight, pull you down to earth. It's pretty interesting, right? Autoimmune. Yeah, my wife deals with autoimmune. I'm pretty sure she's kicked it now at this point. Okay, so that's Dwayne right there. All right, here's we go. Last slide, just so you guys know. If you're not attending or you're not signed up for Change the Channel, I'll hope you'll come. I hope you guys realize we're not doing this because we need you there. We're doing it to change the world, okay? We have a target, impact 1 million people or more in a decade or less in 100 countries or more. It just happens that if people don't pay, they don't pay attention. And I know that. So that's why there's an investment for it. But I hope some of you that are not scheduled, I hope you'll get scheduled. It will sell out. We'll close out, I would imagine, in another week or so. And then a lot of you, you'll be in the room in a couple weeks with us. We're going to knock it out of the park. You're going to have the most fun you've ever had. You're going to change. You're going to shift. You're going to transform your identity. Your life will never be the same again. It will change forever. So super excited about that. What I'd like to know from, let me unshare this so I can see all you amazing people. Boom, there you all are. All right. Love for you guys to type in what's your biggest takeaway and what's your action item before we let you go. So I'm going to give you a minute to type some stuff to myself and the team there. So boom, type away. All right, Dave, have a good night. Type away, everybody. All right, let's read what you guys got here. Boom. Very welcome, Mike. Need to invest in me. Yes, yes. Invest in you. And guess what? It's going to come back in your growth. Transforming and growing from old identity, which is saddled with guilt, shame, and fear, into new identity. Yes, we're going to handle the rest of that when you come out. It's going to be amazing. You're very welcome, Diana. Boom. Take massive action. Anybody else have a couple more they want to throw in there? Throw as much as you want before we go. What else you got? Nice to see a lot of you. Jessica, nice to see you. Chelsea, nice to see you. Diana, nice to see you. Jeremiah, nice to see you. Second time listening to you speak and always amazing. Oh, thank you. I'm honored. My takeaway is to continue to grow. Yes. Keep showing up. Keep growing. Cannot freeze. Yeah. Freeze will keep you stuck. I've been guilty of that. Yep. Boom. Shitty experience is power. Boom. I'm so happy. I clicked on the link in my email. Feel blessed. All right, everybody. I'll play a little music on the way out for you. I love you guys. I appreciate all of you. Stay in our world. I can't wait to see a bunch of you at the training. If we could serve you in any way, let us know. Boom.